What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Weekly GCap, the only source you'll ever need to catch up on all the gaming news from the last week. At the start of these videos, I always say, as always, we have a ton of stories to go through, but no, I seriously mean it this week. This is an absolutely packed show, so we're gonna try to keep the pace, just bear with me. First things first, for those of you that are interested, previews went live for Super Mario RPG. That game releases November 17th, so it's only about a week out from now. But if you've been itching to learn more about the game or see some more gameplay, there's previews all over the internet that you can go and watch now. Next up, the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC 2 release date was announced. This is coming from Pokemon on X. Quote, Pokemon Scarlet or Pokemon Violet, the hidden treasure of Area Zero Part 2, the Indigo Disc, launches on December 14th. Adventures await you at the Blueberry Academy Trainers, end quote. So that's about a month out from now, but I'll definitely be picking that one up. I had a lot of fun with the first DLC, so I'm looking forward to this one. Next up, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 released, and the reviews went live, and right now it's sitting at a 76 on Metacritic. The consensus around the board seems to be that this is a huge improvement over the first, well, not a huge improvement, but you know, a decent improvement. There's actually like voice acting now, which was a bit of a point of contention with the original one, considering, you know, when you have an IP like that, or when you have a game like that with all those various IPs, you know, and one of the most recognizable part of their IPs, we'll say, is like the voices tied to them, like with SpongeBob, for example. So when you have a game like that where they're all fighting, but they don't have voice acting, it felt a little stiff, felt a little weird, but this time there is actually like voice acting, and overall the gameplay just seems to be a lot smoother. The graphics have been updated, so yeah, if this one interests you, from the reviews, it seems like it would be worth picking up. Next up, Like a Dragon Gaiden, the Man Who Erased His Name released, and the reviews went live. Right now it's sitting at a 79 on Metacritic, and the general consensus here just seems to be that it's a bit on the shorter side. However, it did release on Game Pass day one, so if you aren't able to justify the price that it currently goes for in order to pick it up, you can at least get it through Game Pass. So then, you know, I feel like that evens out with the whole, you know, game is too short criticism, which for me, I don't really care about how long a game is. It's all about quality over quantity. I'd much rather pay $70 for an amazing 3-hour game rather than pay $70 for an absolutely cluttered and bloated 100-hour game with just nothing but filler. Next up, to conclude the releases segment of this show, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 releases November 10th, which is the day that you guys are seeing this video. I'm recording it the day before. This one, I already pre-ordered the Vault Edition. I blazed through the campaign literally in one sitting as soon as Early Access went live. I am so excited. I'm gonna dive in, play the multiplayer, play the zombies, and if you're looking forward to Modern Warfare 3, if you want to see some gameplay of it, if you go check out my main channel, which will be like one of the top links in the description, I'm gonna be covering that like as soon as game goes out. Next up, we got a bit of a sales update for Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Apparently, it has sold 4 million copies. So, this coming from Nintendo, quote, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which was released worldwide on October 20th, achieved global cumulative sales of 4.3 million units within the first 2 weeks. This makes it the fastest selling Super Mario related title. That is just insane. It's 2023 and Super Mario is still setting records. It's just, man, you know, I feel like, you know, anybody can relate to this, but I have a lot of nostalgia and love for this series. So it's awesome seeing this current generation also falling in love with it and just seeing the game still do so well. So yeah, if you haven't picked up Super Mario Bros. Wonder yet, I can highly recommend it. It's an absolutely amazing game, and it will definitely be in the running for Game of the Year. Next up, this isn't anything too official, but I mean kind of. So Bioware released a teaser for Mass Effect, but as you're seeing on your screen, I mean, this is literally all that it was. It was just, you know, the girl walking down the hallway, she turns around, puts the helmet on, and it says Mass Effect. So it's not much more than the teaser that they gave us 3 years ago, which was essentially the same thing. Just, you know, a little bit of whatever, and then Mass Effect, and that was that. So, yeah, teaser, Mass Effect. It's still coming at some point. I'm still excited, don't get me wrong. I love the original Mass Effect trilogy, one of my favorite trilogies of, you know, just games, period, and one of my favorite RPG series of all time, but after 3 years, that's all you got. Next up, just someone wanted to highlight for you Black Friday shoppers out there. This coming from Cheap ASS Gamer on X. Quote, GameStop will open at 5 a.m. on Black Friday unless that store's mall is closed at that time. Also closed on Thanksgiving unless that store's mall is open that day. End quote. So, if you're looking to do a bit of shopping on Black Friday, specifically video games, might want to stop by GameStop, especially if you're an early bird like me. Next up, you guys definitely won't want to miss this one. So, this coming from the Game Awards on Twitter, quote, or X, well, whatever, X, quote, Monday, the Game Awards nominees will be announced, that being Monday, November 13th at 9 a.m. PT, noon ET, or 5 p.m. GMT. At thegameawards.com. Join Jeff Keighley for the global live stream. Nominees in more than 30 categories will be revealed, end quote. So again, if you pay attention to that stuff, if you know you like watching the Game Awards at the end of the year, I highly recommend tuning into that one. Next up, it is 2023, 6 years after this game released, and yet it is just now setting a new record. This coming from Fortnite on X, quote, Way to start things off with a big bang. We're blown away by the response to Fortnite OG. Yesterday was the biggest day in Fortnite's history with over 44.7 million players jumping in and 102 million hours of play. To all Fortnite players, OG and new, thank you. And again, that was in the span of one day. If you're not caught up in the loop, basically, Fortnite, they've been changing their maps a lot for their Battle Royale, and in this recent season, they brought back the OG map from way back in the day when the game first came out 6 years ago. Can't believe it's been 6 years already, but I won't lie, I dabbled into some Fortnite during that time. I haven't dived into this OG event yet, though I think I might. But yeah, that map, in my opinion, was like the best. And yeah, those numbers don't lie. 44.7 million players in one day. That's insane. Next up, we've been talking about some of the controversy surrounding Bungie, we'll say, in the last couple episodes. And we got a bit of a response from them, sort of. So this coming from Bungie, quote, "Our path forward," this coming from the Destiny 2 dev team on November 2nd, 2023, quote, "This has been one of the most difficult weeks in our studio's history as we parted ways with people we respect and admire. We spent this week supporting one another, including those who are at the studio, as well as friends and colleagues who no longer are. We want to acknowledge the feedback and concerns you have about Lightfall and recent seasons, as well as your responses to the reveal of the final shape. We know we have lost a lot of your trust. Destiny needs to surprise and delight. We haven't done this enough, and that's going to change. To us, the path forward is clear. We need to make the final shape an unforgettable Destiny experience. We want to build something that will be regarded alongside the best games we have ever made, a fitting culmination that honors the journey we've been on together for the past 10 years. Forsaken, the Witch Queen, and the Taken King, these are the standard bearers we aim to live up to. We are intensely focused on exceeding your expectations for the final shape. Destiny 2 is more than 650 dedicated teammates pouring all their energy and expertise into delivering this epic moment and its subsequent episodes. In the weeks ahead, you'll be hearing more from us on about what's next on the short-term horizon, beginning with our next season in late November. Afterwards, we'll begin to unpack our team's bigger, bolder, and brighter vision for the final shape, as well as the bridge we plan to take us all out of this darkness and into the light. See you Starside, the Destiny 2 dev team," end quote. So they did technically address the layoffs, as you know, towards the beginning of that, and just I guess they're going to be kind of revamping the final shape, as yeah, the reception to it wasn't too great off the rip, but I don't know, just things at Bungie seems to be strange right now, to say the very least. Obviously, Sony acquired them with the hopes that Bungie could kind of help Sony in their push towards live service gaming. And it's just kind of ironic because now Bungie can barely keep up their own live service game. And yeah, it's very important to emphasize game because they've only really ever had one successful live service game, that being Destiny 2. Sure, Destiny 1 was successful, but Destiny 2 is, you know, the one that really pushed things into that live service-y direction, for better or worse. In my opinion, worse, but that's a whole other thing. Ever since the game went free to play, I kind of fell off of it. But yeah, so it technically responded to the controversy, just I don't know. It just seemed like a very PR way of addressing it. You know what I mean? Next up, a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about how that Last of Us multiplayer game was seemingly put on ice or just straight up canceled. Well, that, I guess, isn't the case. So this coming from a director at Naughty Dog, Vinod Agarwal, on X. First, the tweet had like a screenshot of Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I figured I'd mention that just so you guys know the context. But, quote, "I did it. While it was hard, easily 300 plus Mario's dead in the process, and so this tweet can live on in peace. Yes, I'm still working on that game," end quote. So on the surface, you might be like, that game? Well, that's not very specific, but you know, after you do some digging and look at what this director in particular was working on, yeah, when you put the pieces together, they're talking about the Last of Us multiplayer game. So I guess it's not canceled. This is the most quote-unquote official news that we have at this time regarding the game, so if we get any more updates in the future, obviously I'll let you guys know, but I mean, there's an update. Next up, the Embracer COO has left the company. This company's really going through right now, but we'll talk about that. Anyway, this coming from Video Games Chronicle, quote, "Embracer Group's chief operating officer has confirmed his departure from the company. Egil Strunk, I'm not sure how to say his name, Egil Strunk, something like that, shared the news on Monday and claimed he left the holding company, which owns many game developers such as Gearbox and Crystal Dynamics, aka, you know, like the developers behind Borderlands and the Tomb Raider trilogy, the most recent one, last week, "Last week I left Embracer Group as COO, and it's with mixed feelings I am parting ways this global company phenomenon rooted in Karlstad, Sweden," Strunk wrote on Monday. "On one hand, I'm grateful for having had the chance to work with the one-of-a-kind CEO Lars Wingefors and all the other amazing colleagues, too many to mention, which I will be sad to leave. On the other hand, excited about the opportunities that lie ahead, starting and building my own company, Shrunk Games," named after himself. Love that. Although the last year has been rough, in line with general market changes and industry consolidation, I am positive that Embracer will come out stronger and with a long, bright future ahead of them. End quote. The departure comes during a difficult year for the holding company, in which the collapse of a major deal has caused it to implement a restructuring program, which will involve the closing of studios and termination of projects. So, for those of you that don't know about the major deal that fell through, basically, Embracer had a $2 billion, with a B, $2 billion acquisition set up of some kind. We don't know if it was necessarily like an acquisition or like a partnership or whatever, but they had a deal set up and it fell through. So, needless to say, yeah, they're $2 billion in the tank, so they're trying to cut costs, every angle. And I guess the COO just wasn't having it, and he's going to be dipping, making his own company, so... Yeah, there's tons of leaks and rumors and things surrounding Embracer right now. It's a little rough, and there's some rumors going around. I'm not going to talk about it now just because I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to, get that out there because, again, it's not official yet. It's just leaks. It's just rumors. And we don't cover leaks and rumors on the show because, for me, leaks and rumors aren't real news. Real news are things that have actually been officially confirmed. That being said, yeah, things are pretty rough for them right now, and don't be surprised if we end up talking about them again within the next week or two. Next up, for those of you that this may impact, Twitter, aka X, is going to be removed from PlayStation 4 and 5. So right now you can take screenshots or videos and you can share them directly to Twitter or X from your console, but that will no longer be the case starting in a couple of days. So this coming from PlayStation. Important changes to PlayStation communities on your PS5/PS4 console. As of November 13, 2023, integration with X, formerly known as Twitter, will no longer function on PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 consoles. This includes the ability to view any content published on X on PS5/PS4 and the ability to post and view content, trophies, and other gameplay-related activities on X directly from PS5/PS4 or link an X account to do so. For details on how to share game captures from PS5, click the button below. So, when you click the button below, it basically just tells you, hey, you can either share it to your activity feed on PlayStation, or you can save the picture, take it off your PlayStation hard drive, or save it to a USB stick, and then get it on your computer, and then post it from there, or post it to your activities, and then go on the PlayStation app, and take it from the app, and then post it on Twitter. So now if you want to post things on Twitter/X from your PlayStation, you're going to have to do a little bit more work. Obviously, this is quite unfortunate because we've seen many times where a lot of cool Easter eggs and clips, just kind of show up and go semi-viral on Twitter. And they're random captures or screenshots that you would get on PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5. It is a shame, but Xbox also did the same thing just a couple of months ago, and it's because X has this new, I don't know what you want to call it, monetization structure when it comes to companies. And yeah, to give you the TLDR version of it, it costs Sony about $500,000 a year just to keep the ability to sync your PlayStation up with your X account. So yeah, it kind of makes sense as to why they're doing away with it. At least I think it was $500,000. Maybe it was even more than that, but it was still a lot of money. Regardless, just something that I wanted to let you guys know just in case it affects anybody watching this video. Next up, we have a couple of acquisitions to talk about. The first being Sony acquiring iSize. This coming from Sony Interactive. Quote, Sony Interactive Entertainment to acquire iSize. We are thrilled to announce that Sony Interactive Entertainment LLC has entered into an agreement to acquire iSize, a UK-based company specializing in deep learning for video delivery. iSize builds AI-powered solutions to deliver bitrate savings and quality improvements for the media and entertainment industry. The acquisition provides SIE with significant expertise in applying machine learning to video processing, which will benefit a range of our R&D efforts as well as our video and streaming services. We look forward to welcoming the iSize team to SIE. And then at the bottom it says, terms of this transaction, including the acquisition costs, are not disclosed due to contractual commitments. So we have no idea how much they buy or how much they acquired iSize for. Basically, this is just centered around their streaming platforms, whether that be Sony Pictures Core or the new PlayStation 5 streaming thing that they've been bundling in with the premium service. So hopefully this will sort of get Sony towards a better position when it comes to the game streaming. Don't get me wrong, it's decent now, but it could definitely use some work. So I'm quite excited in the coming months/years to see how it improves, because even now, again, it's better than it was during the PS nowadays, but it's still a little rough, so hopefully this will help. Next up, this is less of an acquisition and more of a partnership, but it still kind of falls in line. Anyway, Xbox has partnered with Inworld. That's coming from Inworld. Quote, achievement unlocked, Xbox and Inworld AI partnership. Today we're announcing that Xbox and Inworld will work together to build a powerful toolkit that harnesses artificial intelligence to enrich the narrative and character creation elements of game development. The multi-year co-development partnership ensures that we can work closely with developers and studios to leverage cutting cutting-edge innovations in generative AI to foster limitless creativity and unparalleled immersion. Let me scroll down a little bit because there's like a whole lot of PR mishmash, so we'll just get to the good stuff. Together, we'll focus on developing the following tools: an AI-designed co-pilot that assists and empowers game designers to explore more creative ideas, turning prompts into detailed scripts, dialogue trees, quests, and more, and an AI character runtime engine that can be integrated into the game client, enabling entirely new narratives with dynamically generated stories, quests, and dialogues for players to experience, end quote. I've spoken my piece on this before. I think AI has a place in game development where they could be used for beneficial reasons, whether that be bug testing or, I don't know, just like other things of that nature, right? More like testing purposes rather than the actual development of the games itself. To me, I'll give you the short of it. Video games are an art. There's no argument there, okay? Video games are an art, and art can only be created by sentient beings. That is what makes art what it is. And AI cannot produce real art. It can make something that simulates art or is a parallel to art that looks something like a piece of art that a human would make, but they cannot make true, heartfelt, emotional, sentient art. So with that being said, when you consider what I just said, on top of, video games being an art form, I do not believe that AI has any place in developing or creating anything in the video game thing. Just no, none of it. It has no place in it. When it comes to actual development, no AI. I don't want to see AI there. Now, if AI is used to help with development, whether it be to speed up certain processes or again like bug tests or something like that, that's different. But when AI is actually developing parts of the game that we will be playing, that's where I have a problem with it. So this scares me. I'm gonna cross my fingers that this doesn't get taken too far, because we're scarily and rapidly getting to that point of where AI may actually be able to start replacing humans when it comes to, like jobs, like during game development or whatever, because AI is already getting to that point. I'm sure if you sat some AIs down and trained them enough, they'd be able to pump out a whole game for you as it is right now. So just imagine, like, now that we got big companies like Microsoft backing it and partnering with them to develop their games, I mean, it's a scary future, if I'm going to be honest. I don't like all the AI stuff getting into the gaming scene, but this was bound to happen. That's what mankind does, right? AI has to get their hands on everything. I hope that video games stay real. They stay human. You know what I mean? Next up, this is easily the biggest story of the day. GTA 6 has not only been officially confirmed, which technically I think it was already officially confirmed back when all those leaks were happening last year, but now the reveal has been officially confirmed. This coming from Rockstar Games on X, quote, "We are very excited to let you know that in early December, we will release the first trailer for the next Grand Theft Auto. We look forward to many more years of sharing these experiences with all of you. Thank you, Sam Hauser," end quote. So there it is. GTA 6 See, they haven't referred to it as GTA 6. They've just been saying the next GTA, even during the time that the leaks were happening, and even now. They just say the next GTA. Is this a soft reboot? Is this a quote-unquote spin-off, which would be a little weird for it to be a spin-off after it's been a decade, but man, it's Rockstar. You never know with them nowadays. But yeah, the next Grand Theft Auto, whether it's a soft reboot, whether it's something else entirely, whether it's GTA 6, very excited. I don't need to say anything else, right? Like, we've all been waiting for this game for the last decade. I went from being a kid playing this game to being a dude in his 20s. I am a grown man, and we still don't have GTA 6. What is this? But seriously, like, I'm glad Rockstar has taken their time to just make this game into the absolute polished masterpiece that I'm sure it will be. So, yeah, fingers crossed. We'll talk about this again in early December once that reveal goes live. I'm so excited. And finally, for our last story of the day, a live-action Zelda movie was announced. Man, something tells me we might get this live-action Zelda movie before GTA 6. Anyway, alright, I gotta stop. Oh man, okay, this is coming from Nintendo's Japan X account. Quote, "This is Miyamoto. I've been working on the live-action film of The Legend of Zelda for many years now with Avi Arad-san." For those of you that, Avi Arad, the one that worked on some of the Spider-Man movies. Yeah, that's a little controversial topic if you know the history there, but we'll see. Anyway, we'll just keep going here. Who has produced many mega-hit films. I've asked Avi-san to produce this film with me, and we have now officially started the development of the film with Nintendo itself heavily involved in the production, which is good. That's a good thing. It will take time until its completion, but I hope you look forward to seeing it. And then when we go over to Nintendo's corporate website, it says the film will be produced by Shigeru Miyamoto, representative director and fellow of Nintendo and and Avi Arad, chairman of Arad Productions Inc., who has produced many mega hit films. The film would be produced by Nintendo and Arad Productions Inc. and directed by Wes Ball. The film would be co-financed by Nintendo and Sony Pictures Entertainment Incorporated, with more than 50% financed by Nintendo. The theatrical distribution of the film will be done worldwide by Sony Pictures Entertainment Incorporated, end quote. So there were some people freaking out online like, Sony Pictures, what? They're distributing the movie? Sony Pictures is completely different from the part of Sony that runs PlayStation, so that's not like a thing there. So maybe, you know, there was a lot of talk about that online. And at first it kind of caught my eye, but then, you know, I thought about it some more, and yeah, it's completely different. But this is really exciting. My main question would be, who do they cast as Zelda and who do they cast as Link? For Zelda, I guess I can't say it's an easier job, but, you know, there's even things that I could think of now. But for Link, man, I don't know. I saw people throwing around Tom Holland. Please don't do Tom Holland. He's already Nathan Drake. If he was Nathan Drake, Link, and Spider-Man, that would just do all those universes. I don't know, man. That would cause some, like, multiverse shenanigans that we see in the Marvel films, except in real life, you know what I mean? But, you know, I feel like if they're gonna get somebody to play Link, the best route would be somebody newer to the film industry, or somebody not as well known. Because, you know, if you get, like, a big celebrity to play them, I mean, then again, it worked before, right? Like, with Chris Pratt playing as Mario, like, it worked there. I forgot that Chris Pratt was even the one voicing Mario by the end of the movie. But again, this is different because this is a live-action film, so, I don't know. Whoever ends up playing Link, I just, you know, I want it to be a good choice, right? Furthermore, is Link gonna talk? Because obviously Mario didn't, like, he's talked before, technically, but, you know, that was an easier thing to work out. But with Link, he's known as just being like the silent character that, you know, the player kind of puts themselves into his shoes. So is Link going to be silent the entire movie? Is the actor going to have to be silent? Is he going to have voice lines? I don't know. There's a lot that could go right. There's a lot that could go wrong, that could go questionably. I'm just going to hold out hope. I'm going to cross my fingers. I'm really excited for this. Don't get me wrong. I am so excited for a live-action Zelda movie, especially after seeing what they did with the Mario movie, but a lot of questions. But there's no point in speculating. We'll see what happens when it happens. But anyway, that is all the stories that I have for you guys this week. So now I'd definitely love to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on everything that we talked about this week? Whether it's GTA 6, the live-action Zelda movie, some of the acquisitions, the stuff going down in Embracer, all the game releases, whatever it is, whatever you're thinking, I would definitely love to hear from you guys. But anyway, this is Weekly GCap. New episodes go live every single Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. So if you want to catch them as soon as they go live, well, then I know when to be here. But anyways, that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Have an amazing day and an amazing weekend. Stay beautiful. I love you all. Peace.